What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the golf cart on the farm. Today we are getting back to the stinky trailer, the rotten trailer, the gross trailer, the moldy trailer. In the last, maybe a video ago, in the last time we saw this thing, I spent a whole lot of time stripping everything out of it. The entire interior had to go, and now it's time to figure out how and why it is leaking. Step number one to that, oh, and reseal it. Step number one to that, as we climb the ladder of doom, is to clean the roof. You gotta wash the roof, you gotta get all the loose dirt and garbage and stuff off of it so that you can actually reseal it. And during that process, you find things like this. Now, there we go. Well, if it will adjust, there we go. You see that crack? Well, that's not good, huh? Neither is all that all the way down. I think all of that is leaking. So we have to fix all of that stuff. And to fix all of that stuff, I have to wash the entirety of the trailer. I'm just doing the seams really and the edges so that I can, find the leaks and see where they might be. But if I'm honest, I think the entire trailer is leaking. So we're gonna go around the entire roof and clean it up. Maybe look at stripping some of the old stuff off, but mostly just goop some of this super nice Dicor stuff that I've got to reseal it up. I'm about a quarter of the way through. It took me about a half an hour to get here. I have got wood here to span across supports so that I have safe places to stand where I'm not damaging the roof. But it's time to keep going. Time to keep scrubbing. Luckily, the scrubbing effort is really quite low. It's not a bad deal at all. So I'm gonna get back up there and I'm gonna keep scrubbing, and I will see you guys in just a second. All right, so there's been lunch, there's been a break because it is way too hot outside, and here's where we are now. I got way too hot scrubbing on this thing. Can't remember if I really showed super well, but holy demonetized. Holy cow, you guys, it came a whole lot cleaner. And you can see the problem right there. It's like this pretty much all the way around the whole damn thing. So it's clean now. It's pretty dry, save for a couple of spots. And well, the goal now is to see how this stuff is not going to come up. I'm going to go ahead and make that decision right now. So brush it off, make sure there's no garbage in the way, and lay new sealant down, nice, big, and thick like. Also have some help. And then after that, it'll be time to start drinking. But here's a clean trailer. Let's see what it's like to reseal it. The directions said to goop it on real heavy like. So it's been gooped. This was the first gooping. The gooping gets better when you get down there. But that's pretty much the whole trailer. This was the most leakiest bit. So it's the most goopiest bit. No. She's all goopy. It's mad gooped up now. Waterproof in 4 hours, cures in 30 days. The whole trailer is done. I don't know if the camera's probably not picking up, but right about there was this weird fiberglass seam tapey patch of some sort. Don't know what that is. Doesn't appear to be leaking, but that got gooped over real heavy too. Same with that spot right there. But that's pretty much what a resealed trailer looks like at this point when you don't know what you're doing. It'll probably work. This stuff is pretty highly regarded by basically everybody with roofs to seal. So now the next step is to sort this situation. I think we're just going to end up doing the entire floor. This is the worst of it, obviously, because this front corner sits down and it was leaking through here. So this is the worst part. You can put your foot straight through that, as well as the other front corner. So I think really just the entire floor is going to get replaced. New plywood, which is really not that big of a deal to do. Now that we have the roof sealed up, that'll be pretty good. And then we'll have a dry box again to stick a car in. The question is, what car? In any case, we're gonna keep, oh, can't see me. In any case, we're gonna keep working. See what we come up with next. Okay, so it has been a day since we've looked at the trailer, so I just want to be up here and look at it again. and see what it looks like. So really, it looks pretty good from where I'm standing. This was a big patch of weirdness, like I said, and as was this. Very large patch of weirdness. And it's still very soft, but has skinned over and should be plenty waterproof now. It'll just continue to cure over the next month or so. You could see where you could see the roughness that is where I started, and how it gets a little smoother, a little better as we go. All the way around the entire perimeter, use about 4 or 5 tubes of it. But all that looks good. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this didn't take anywhere near as long as I thought it would take. Which means I don't really have a whole lot to show you guys for this one. I really thought that there would be more work getting done. More work to do, rather. So, I thought maybe we could take a deeper dive into the way that I grew up, my childhood. 2 things. I want to show you the Corona a little better. I don't think I showed it to you very well because it was full of tools and junk at the time. Here's the Corona. I love this car. I think it's got great wagony lines, and it's got great wagony storage. There's still some junk in here that's just trash. It just needs to be trashed. I think this thing is really pretty cool. It's got decent legroom in the back here for 4 people to be carried. It's a pretty comfortable vehicle when it ran. It was a relatively comfortable vehicle. And even still, it's in pretty good shape. Dash has one crack on the back side of the gauge pod there, but it's in pretty good shape. It needs a deep cleaning to be sure. But it's in pretty good shape, I think. Oh, well, that door handle's locked up. But I think it's got great lines, and it's got 300,000 miles on it. Don't know how well the camera's, yeah, there it goes. Over 300,000 miles on it. And the thing it runs like a top, it really does. But what I really want to show you is the RX-7, the FC RX-7. This is an 86 GXL. 86? Maybe an 87, I don't remember. But this was in the background of a video not too long ago, the last time we were out here, and I wanted to show you guys this car a little bit more because it's minty. It's minty. The algae and nastiness has preserved the interior wonderfully. No cracks or anything at all. It's nice and clean. Seats has had worse days, but what happens to these a lot is this center console door warps up really badly, and that's not the case here. It looks good. There's not a single crack or warping in the dash at all. It all looks good. The steering wheel is a little rank and needs to be cleaned up, but overall, man, this thing is in great condition. It's in great shape. 88,000 miles on it. Less than 100,000 miles. The entire center stack here looks awesome, and I love all the 80s buttons and stuff for the radio. Definitely don't see that in too good a condition very often. But it all looks great. Look at this. Just looks awesome. I love how the door handle kind of curves in to the dash. I love that line. I think it's awesome. So, it's super cool. And this car had not active I guess, but adjustable suspension on it. Hasn't worked in years and was a bad idea at the time, but hey, you know what? It was there. This car's in great shape. The biggest issue with this thing is right now, the motor is locked up. It's sat for a long time. Motor's locked up, and it's just not very healthy. It's not in good condition. And even when it did run, it really didn't make any power. So we kind of suspect that maybe the motor's just toast. I don't really know. But that's the next thing to get dove into? I don't know. That's the next thing to be looked at. But it's a good car, and it could be a great car with a good running motor. So that's something to be looked into. Now, I do have one more thing to show you guys. I have to walk to the bottom of the hill to do it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I have something to show you that I'm extremely excited about. I cannot wait to dig into this thing. It's coming to our shop. Oh yeah, dude. This thing is awesome. This is the car that made me fall in love with Z's. It is a wonderful car. We will dive deeply into it probably in the next video or so, but for now, this is her. Oh man, I'm so pumped. So the goal here is it runs and drives. It has got some problems because it sits a lot. I'm gonna try to work through some of those problems, which we'll talk all about that a little bit later on, but I just want to do a quick walk around of this thing because I just love it so much. The interior is in halfway decent shape. Well, the sun's probably not gonna work out here at all, but she's dusty, dirty, and a tick on the neglected side, but this is a good car. This is a good car. I'm pumped to get this thing to the shop. First thing, it's gonna go up on jack stands, all the wheels come off, and the brakes basically haven't worked in years properly. It pulls real hard to one side, so I need to work on that. That'll be number one. Get it up in the air, do the brakes, a total fluid change everywhere that is appropriate to change the fluid. And we're gonna be working on that in the next couple of weeks. I will do a closer dive on that. But I also feel like I should probably talk about this. Ta-da! This is my new truck. I sold my Chevy. This was also my dad's truck. I got it a couple of weeks ago. I've been trying to figure out how to reveal it, and I feel like this whole rig right here is probably the best possible way to reveal my new truck. I'm super pumped on this thing. 2003 Toyota Tundra Sr5 with a 4.7 liter V8. Got 170,000 miles on it, and this thing runs like a top. It is super comfortable and super nice. It's a great truck, and I am pumped to do some long distance towing with it. Now, I know that I've thrown a whole lot of stuff at you guys here in the last 2.5 minutes or so, but rest assured I will go through all of this stuff. I just need to shower, and I need to drive the 4.5 hours home. I'm gonna unload this car. Once it's in the shop, I will do a solid walk around. I'm so pumped for all of these things. I am so pumped for all of this stuff. I cannot wait to show you the Tundra. I cannot wait to dig into the Z and get it going. In any case, let me get home and we will take a closer look at it. All right, so we are back at home. I have this car up on jack stands and I've got most of the wheels off. Got most of the wheels off. This little guy right here is being a little difficult. I don't really know why, but it is. I'm pumped to have this thing here. It's up in the air. I've kind of been checking it out a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not great, but it's also not the worst one I've ever seen. Let's poke around a little bit, huh? So, the body is not without its little dings and crack paint. I mean, the last time this thing was painted was who knows how long ago. Focus. So there's some rough spots in the paint here and there. It is dirty. It has sat around for quite some time, so it's pretty dirty. I was prepared for all of this. You know, this is all normal stuff. It's dirty. It's kind of nasty. It'll get cleaned up. Part of what I want to do is clean it up some, just to you know, as a visual inspection kind of. It's pretty dirty. A lot of this kind of thing I was expecting. What I was not exactly expecting is this car has absolutely been crashed before in its life. You can see some wrinkles there. Now, yeah, it's rusty. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not perfect. It is rusty. These cars are known for being very soft and very thin-skinned, as it were. So it is rusty and it is soft. But for whatever reason, I wasn't exactly prepared for it to be crashed for whatever reason. Never occurred to me that this car definitely has been crashed at one point. And actually, as I'm looking right now, that's yellow paint. I don't know how, there you go. That's yellow paint. This car was brown originally. So it's interesting. Now, this isn't a death sentence. This car is old as hell, so you know these are the kinds of things that you expect to see. Well, not necessarily that you expect to see, but it's just going to happen because the car is old, and that's really all you get. But in any case, overall, like I said, it's definitely not the worst car I've seen. These corners rust out of these really quickly, and this one's pretty solid. Little different story on the other side, I'll show you. But you know, kind of along the rocker here, also is a pretty bad spot for him, and this one's pretty solid. There's a bit of a rough spot there, as you can see. But really, overall, I'm okay. I'm okay with the way this car looks. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm actually going to do here in a minute. But right here is the worst of it, to be sure. That is directly under the battery tray, and that's where everything goes away on pretty much all cars, not just these. And you can see the difference in frame rails to this side. So we're going to get under one more time here. This is without a doubt the worst part of the car right here, and it's not even that bad. A lot of these, because the steel is so thin, the floor is just completely gone, just absolute massive holes. And there's a hole here, and there's a hole a little bit further back that I'm not sure you can see or not, but you know, it's not perfect. Oh, and the frame rails on these just go. It's a unibody car, yes, but there are still thicker bits of steel they put down as frame rails, and these are gone. The floors in these are notorious for just going away completely. Oh, so there's that for you. Now, as far as the interior goes, quite a bit of work was put into this car a very long time ago to make it look decent, and that has more or less held up. It does have a plastic dash cap, which I don't love, but again, that's just kind of the nature of the beast, because you can get a new dash for these. All the ones I've seen are brown and over $1,000. So that's this is what you live with. Another fun fact is right there, right where you see that crack, every single center console in every single early body Z cracks there, or right around that choke handle. That choke handle is right there. Right around there is where they always crack. They are never whole. You're never going to find one not broken. You just have to try to piece together the best ones you can and try to fix it. But anyway, just trying to give you a decent look at the car. Now, this one has been spray bombed black. Like I said, the car was brown, and so was the interior. And they used some fabric dye and stuff like that to paint it all black, which, you know, it's actually held up quite nicely for a real long time. This is where everybody puts their elbow, obviously, and so that's rubbed off pretty good. Now I'm looking here. There's a patch right there, but man, honestly, this car is really not that bad off as far as rust goes. Door jambs are clean as far as that goes. But anyway, so that's the interior, and that is the underside. Now, what am I going to do to this thing? The goal is to make it easy to get in, turn the key, and go. This car sits way too much, as do all the other cars that you've seen, and so because it sits too much, it deteriorates and it goes bad, and the longer it sits, the harder it is to get going, which means it's less likely to actually be driven. And so the goal for me is to get this car to a place where it's easy to jump in, turn the key, and you're rolling. That's all I want to do. So I've taken a quick peek around. It's been on and off the trailer and through the yard. Immediately what I want to do is, like I said, I can't remember if I said this or not, but basically in my driving career, the time that I've driven, the brakes have never worked very well in this car. So I want to pull everything apart, get everything cleaned up, replaced. Probably, I don't think this caliper right here is doing anything, so probably have to buy a caliper or two, maybe a wheel cylinder or two, because it is drum's rear. I want to go through the brakes. I want to make sure that's all up to snuff. The two carburetors one usually runs really great, and one usually clogs up, and it did on the way in the garage. It boom, started running on 3 cylinders. So what usually is the case there is there's just a clog in the bowl of the rear carburetor. So I'm going to pull those apart to the best of my ability. I'm going to do some reading on these SUs and try to get that cleaned up and put back together so that it starts and runs well. I'll put some fresh gas through it. The clutch is a bit soft, so it needs some clutch work, at least to be bled, maybe parts to be replaced. It's super common for a car that sits a lot to need the hydraulics replaced, be it clutch hydraulics or brake hydraulics. So I'll go through all that stuff. So now we are running well, we are stopping well, and we are clutching well. I want to do a really deep, thorough clean of the inside and the outside because, gosh darn it, the car just deserves it. It's a beautiful car. I love this car so much. And then I want to get some tires on it. This one right here, this tire is probably as old as I am. At least because I know exactly where that tire came from. And it was stuck on, it's been on that wheel since, well, the beginning of my time anyway. So I want to get 2 tires for it because the other 2 are new. I want to get a couple of tires for it. I'm going to do a oil change. I'm going to look into a differential and a transmission fluid change as well, just so everything is fresh and good and not old as hell. And then I'm going to drive it some. It is plated, it's legal, which is sick. And so once all that stuff is done, I'm going to put it on the road up here. I'm going to take it out here and there. You know, no big massive trips, no super harsh runs, no mountain runs, anything like that. But I'm going to cruise it, I'm going to drive it, I'm going to lean on it a little bit and see what other failure points might pop up. I would love to do suspension as well, but that's a bit more expensive and a bit more time consuming than I think we can really jump into right now. But in any case, that pretty much wraps it up here. I have a new truck. You saw my new truck. I will get into that in a later video. I don't know when, but a later video at some point. I just wanted to get this car here. I wanted to get it up on jack stands. I wanted to show it to you guys. I am super pumped for this. The next video will be about this car. I'm gonna, like I said, sort through it, order some parts, and then I will be back with you guys once I have some bits and pieces to actually work on. I think that pretty much does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am pumped that you guys love this old crap like I do. I cannot wait to dive into this car and drive this car. Oh, the first drive, you guys, just wait till you hear it. It's the best sounding motor on the planet. I don't care, V8, V10, doesn't matter. This car, I just can't speak. I lose speech when thinking about the way this car sounds. In any case, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. Follow me on Instagram at The.Daily.Racer. I'm super active between videos there, so you can always find me there working on something because there's always something to be worked on. Thank you for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one.